Testing 1 2 1
Check,
2.
check 1 2 1 2.
Sound good?
Yeah, sounds great.
All right, and you could leave your coffee in front of the sign if it's an easier.
No, whatever. I don't want to block the sign if I don't have to.
Yeah, but it's kind of, I've realized it's an easier angle to grab the coffee. So whatever you'd like, just go for
You
it.
ain't got a coaster. I want to be.
It's metal. It's fine.
Okay. I always like to make sure.
I brought you a straw if you would like a straw.
I appreciate it. I got the little thing.
Okay.
Here, so I'm good.
Some people like to suck.
No, not this one. Not this one. Not on a good. Jason, nope. Nope. Does it say it that way? Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Jay Washington, everybody.
Oh, this is how we started the shit? Oh, I have no fucking idea. Oh, hey. There's a lot of other guests that could have sucked through a straw. This ain't one of them. Thanks for having me. Well, this got off to an awkward fucking start. I appreciate you. Okay.
Oh my God. Cheers.
Cheers to, you suck on the straw.
I'll suck, you suck. I don't think I've ever said, I keep saying things on the podcast that I've never said ever.
That's when you're supposed to say them and also supposed to regret it at the same time. Oh shit, I didn't realize these things were
yeah, they're live. They're part of it. It's an interactive podcast.
I got a big ass shoulder that just was like, hey, this is going to be interesting, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, well, thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me. It's fun.
I always appreciate people taking the time because I know none of us have much spare time at all.
I get up. I don't sleep per se. I'm always down for like 4 or 5 hours a night and back up. So I was up at 7:30 this morning. And I was like, all right, I got a bunch of other shit to do. So I went to the gym already.
Me too.
Yeah, I got my workout in early. Then I went home, cleaned up, and then I was like, all right, let me get out of here. And I looked at traffic and said, I hate my life because I live in the valley. So I was like, shit. But no, then I got a bunch of shit to do after this. But I always like trying to do these with people I actually like.
Thank you.
Let me just be real. Because I get offered to do them a lot. I got a couple of emails like, hey, we would love to have you. And it's like some of them, it depends on what the reasoning is or whatever. Mm-hmm. And some I'm just willing to be open. But with people I like, I'm like, cool, I'll make it happen. I'll make time for it. So I'm here.
You're like super loved around town.
Thank you. I mean, you know what? It's funny because I get to hear that a lot from other people. But for me, because I run with tunnel vision, I just try to be a good person in general. I'm the person where if I know you and I see something going wrong, I try to figure out what's going on. How can I help? What can I do to fix the situation? Blah, blah, blah. That's just me. And if somebody's fucking with you, who do I got to beat up? You know what I'm saying? Because people be like, how can you be like that? I'm like, who gonna whoop my ass?
Yeah.
And so, but I just always try to be a good energy person because we're in a city where so many people are presented with so much BS consistently, with rejection in our careers, personal lives, things like that, with a lot of disappointment. And so I deal with it myself, but I feel like just we're in a scene that's like, yo, it's not always rewarded by your talent. So to be in this scene, you got to try to be somewhat of a good person. And, it speaks volumes because there are some people who just say, well, if you a good person, you ain't got to say it. I'm not saying it just to say it. It's just that shit, I know who I got to be. Yeah. Like, I'm always the type of person, like, if you want to know something about me, ask me. If you feel a certain way, tell me. I don't want to be that person like, yo, I heard this about Jake. No. Ask me, and I'll tell you straight up whether it's true or not. And just the energy to bring around people, especially in comedy. You would think because we have a career that requires us to make motherfuckers laugh and be happy that we would be just jovial all goddamn day, and that's not the case. So when you and others say that I'm loved around the scene, it means a lot to me, honestly, because of what I deal with personally. How I deal with my own stuff. And some people know my stresses and stripes and battles with mental health and other things like that, et cetera, et cetera. But to hear that just makes me know I'm doing something good. Mm-hmm. So thanks for saying that.
Of course. Oh, good. You gotta. It is one of the funniest things about like comedians that they always think we're extroverts and everything. And I'm lucky that Matt likes to get out of the house. Not that he's an extrovert, but he gets antsy because I'm a couch body. I'm a homebody. So like, thank God he's like, let's go out to a club. Let's go like just be around people. And I'm like, okay. I'm
both. I'm 50-50 because I'm an extrovert. I like to be around people. But I also say this. I hate people. Like, people, I tell me, they be like, sorry, what? I'm like, yeah, I have the one career that I have several careers that require me to be around people. And I get to the point where I don't like people no more. Like, I'm good on all y'all. I can go. But, it all varies. Because it can be draining. It is being around people, and it isn't just peers. It can be family, close friends. This shit is draining.
It's so draining.
You're like, I don't want to do this shit no more.
That's all it really comes down to. Yeah. But I feel like I'm an introverted extrovert as well.
That's the best way to describe it.
Because once I get out, I don't want to leave my place. But when I do leave my place, I thrive.
Oh, same. It's times I'll be like, man, I don't want to go nowhere, but I'll be mad at myself if I'm in the house too. So I'm not that much of a couch person because I think it's because I live by myself. So I'm always potentially by myself.
Yeah.
Some people are like, oh, you just don't like being home. Like, yeah, I like being sometimes away from motherfuckers, but you want to be around people sometimes. But then at the same time, when I'm out, it depends on who I'm out around. Because there's been times I've been to various comedy clubs in this city. And sometimes the energy is just like, all right, cool, I can hang out for a while. Then there's other times it's like, yeah, you know what? I could have stayed home and read an audiobook. Yes, I said read an audiobook. That's exactly how bad it is. So, I get it. I get it.
Well, we did it. We're doing something.
We're out here. We're out. Look, it's the daytime in Los Angeles. And for some reason, I posted this on one of my Facebook pages. I say one because I got 3 of them. But I was like, this is a flex that shouldn't be a flex. As of the recording of this, it is October and it is 90 fucking degrees outside.
Yeah, there's a heat wave.
There's a heat wave happening. I was like, I should not be turning back on my air conditioner right now. But that's the thing.
Yeah, we're lucky because my last place, I think we talked about our studios at Don't Tell. My last place didn't have central AC. So filming over the summer, I felt so bad for the guests.
I don't have central. I got the air conditioning unit. So it's like, I got to a point last year. I was like, yo, they just gonna have to deal with this air conditioner in the background. I was like, I don't give a shit no more.
It's so loud too.
I'm on the second, I'm on the top. So the heat is just coming down on my apartment and my shit's like an oven. So as soon as I turn off my air conditioner, it gets hot quickly. So I was like, you know what? We're not finna keep doing it. I remember one day, I swear to God, I had like 3 self-tapes I had to do. I said, oh no, this shit's staying on. They just finna get all this in the background. You finna get all this shit. Yeah. And like my thing is, what's the casting director gonna say? Hey, you're being unprofessional. No, bitch, I'm staying cool. You want me to record this with a heat stroke? The fuck? I'm sorry. I'm having a moment.
Otherwise, like, do you want me sweating? I don't think I've ever noticed. Do you sweat a lot on stage? Some comics will sweat a lot.
I do.
Depends on the room for me.
I do, but you just wouldn't know it.
Yeah.
That's why I wear a hat. Because I'm bald. So I'm bald by choice, first of all. Let me make sure I clarify that. Because a lot of I got a couple friends who are bald because nature made the decision for me.
Yep.
And so one in particular, I'm going to put him on blast in a minute. I remember one time I hadn't shaved my head yet. And my hair was growing in. And I have a full head of hair. And this was months ago. I get a full head of hair. And so I happened to take my hat off and I was scratching my head because it was hot. And he was like, what the fuck is that? I was like, what? He was like, oh yeah. I was like, hair. He was like, you can grow your hair? I was like, yeah. He was like, you bald by choice? I said, yeah. He was like, he got mad. So shout out to Martino Stewart. Love you, bro.
Oh, Martino. I know Martino.
Martino got mad. But like he's been one of it's funny because some people like, yo, you don't like I just chose to shave. But so because of that still, because I'm bald, when I sweat from my head, I just wear a hat on stage so I can catch my sweat. Now, don't get me wrong, my back and all that, when I'm moving around, the back of my shirt be soaked. But I think it's because my body, I've learned this and it sounds weird to say, my body's like, oh, he's being active, so let's start sweating. I'm like, yeah, cool, but you ain't got to start perspiring. Sweating is one thing, perspiring is another. And so, yeah, I sweat a lot. So I'm not at a This is gonna be so funny and fucked up to say. I love you when I say this, bro. I'm not at Craig Robinson level where I need a whole ass towel with me on the stage and be like, whoo, I'm dabbing myself like a church mother. Like,
Cat Williams too. His face is just
Cat Williams Cat sweats his perm out, literally. A man had to get a haircut. Like, bro, that perm ain't lasted through a whole set. So yeah.
Bald by choice is so funny though. You don't ever hear someone talking about that.
Bald by choice. And it's really because I remember I was just in Montana at the Big Sky Fest, and again I hadn't shaved yet because my first show of the fest, this contest part, was on a Thursday. It was a Wednesday. I didn't shave my head, and I took my hat off. Somebody was like, "Hey, yo, what is that?" I was like, "Yo, I just haven't shaved." They're like, "What?" And so when I got later tonight, I shaved. They was like, "Are you fucking serious?" I'm like, yeah, I just don't. I mean, there's several reasons. Number one, I've shaved since I was in high school, since my graduation day, because I didn't get a haircut. It was the graduation day. I hadn't got a haircut. I was like, I need to do something. Just shave.
No way.
I swear to God. And it was like, that stuck. But also because I got burned when I was 2.
Oh, no.
And people can barely recognize it and notice it. I got burned. I pulled some boiling water off the stove on my head and my shoulder.
Oh, my God.
And so it's always been like a slight self-esteem thing to keep it, because as it's bald, you can't notice it at all.
Yeah.
When I have hair, you see it, but it's not nowhere near as big and as prominent as it used to be on my head. Shit used to be like really big, and even on my shoulder all the way down here. But as I got older and bigger and things like that, and shrunk.
Thank God. Burns, no joke.
Yeah, I know. Live with it. All type of burns. Water burns, fire burns, sexual burns. Don't ever get that burn.
That's the worst.
That's the worst. I'm going to tell you what's worse than the burn. The phone call to confirm it. You're like, fuck.
Your hand's on fire.
Because now you're like, shit, I got to call some people. Whoo.
Oh my God. I have the smallest burn in the world. I don't even know. You can't even really see it anymore. But when I was little, you remember, it's kind of like those lamps, the ones with the opening.
Yeah.
I was whipping my shirt around, and then I threw it up on the lamp. I was like 5 maybe.
Okay, because I'm still trying to figure out how that works. Okay, go ahead.
And then I throw it on top of the lamp. It stays, and I come back down, and I start whipping it, and it's on fire. Because back then, in like the early 90s, those lamps weren't made the same.
Yeah, those bulbs back in the day. That's why they changed the bulbs.
Yeah.
Them bitches will set your house on fire. You leave them alone. Them bulbs you could fry. Those were the bulbs you put in like the Easy Bake ovens, the Dr. Dreadful Food Labs. That's a throwback. All those things you would make toys and get a little small version of a bulb that generated real heat. Real heat. It wasn't just, this is just lighting up some shit to make it beautiful and luminous. This shit was heat.
Yeah. They changed that. I don't know how many people were set on fire.
How many lives were lost to the hands of light bulbs, ladies and gentlemen?
Thank God to the new technology.
Don't say that, because I don't like all new technology, because some of it's trying to take my job right now.
Thank God for new light bulbs.
New light bulbs, yes, because some technology is trying to take my job.
Oh, yeah, the writer's strike is done.
The writer's strike is done, but we as the actors are still on strike, and I'm glad, because a bunch of my friends are good friends of writers, and some are back. They're back in the rooms they were in already. Some, like, I didn't have a job before the strike, so I didn't have one after the strike. I was like, you know what? I didn't have a full acting job before the strike. Like, luckily, we could still do commercials, but like TV and film, like I was still auditioning for a bunch of stuff, and then the strike happened, and I was like, well, I'm not auditioning for nothing. And now it's just like, well, I'm still waiting, because, with the writers being back, but hopefully they say within the next couple of weeks or so, ours should be done. But it's like, okay, cool. Yay, but am I going to have something to do? Because, I mean, granted, it's been an interesting time to be a part of history, so it's just, we'll see what happens. It's
definitely weird. A lot of big technology changes.
The whole AI thing, I just was arguing with somebody on Facebook about it, because that's what you do on Facebook.
That is what Facebook is for.
You're arguing with somebody. And I was like, I don't know if you can say you support SAG and the WGA against our fight with AI while you out here doing these AI yearbook photos.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't know if you get it. Like, you are really, and there's people that's in the unions like, oh, I'm going to do, like, you're defeating the purpose. That is why we're saying I get the fun part. Don't get me, I'm never going to be that dude like, oh, you trying to kill everybody's fun. No. I get the fun part of, this is what I would have looked like with this or that in high school. I get that part. It's the This is what the fuck we talking about. Because if you keep doing this shit gonna be using you on the screen. Like, nah. So that's what my thing with the technology and when I bring it up.
And then also that is taking photographer and editors.
Yes.
That's their
jobs. You know, and then some people are like, well, AI is a thing that's gonna stay. Of course it is. But also, artificial intelligence has always been around since like computer programs, not to the level in which we know of it now, but it's been around in some form. But the fact you got like people like, yo, I got a whole photo shoot done without even having photos. Like, yo, don't get now. Hear me out. Hear me out. Okay, hear me out. Listen, I know what I just said about the class year before. I know what I literally just said. You can rewind the tape, but rewind the tape. However, if you can make a AI photo of me some new headshots that I ain't got to pay $500 to a motherfucker to take, I'm kind of gonna have to be considering it. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, that's the only because I do understand photographers and their work and things like that and the time and effort that goes in. But sometimes you gotta admit too, some of these photographers' prices are ridiculous.
Yep. I want new ones so bad.
But I'm hella broke. I got kids. I got babies. I just said I'm on strike. I can't sit here and say, yeah, I can do 3 poses. You can bring 90 outfits, but it's going to be $600.
Yep.
Like, I can't do that right now. And again, I understand careers. I understand what your work and the value of work. I do. However, I'm always of the mindset, if you lower things, more people will come to you.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying a photographer should be like, yeah, for $27.95, I'm giving you all these pictures because I wouldn't trust you. That means you're using a disposable camera.
Yeah.
And I could have did the shit myself. But I feel like some of these photographers, because they understand the industry and where we're at, oh, this is Hollywood. People want them built for acting, for stand-up, for billboards, for things like that. And so people are willing to pay. But it also becomes a bit exploitive. Just a bit, but however, again, back to the AI shit. I know what the fuck I said. I get it. I know you like, but you just said that makes you a hypocrite. No, bitch, because I'm acknowledging it. What the fuck exactly I said. So
self-aware.
Self-aware is shit with this.
This is different. I'm part of the problem. I have my one thing. I use an AI to edit my podcast.
Really?
And it's sick.
How? Wait.
So the multicam, this editor called Autopod, you just sync everything in the audio, all the camera layers, and in 3 minutes it does multicam for an hour episode. And it's $30 a month.
Okay, I would like to say for the you know what, let me make sure I lean into this shit. Okay, all right. I would love for editors to have their job. How fucking ever. $30 a month, multi-camera, and 3 minutes. Let me tell you something what can't be done in 3 minutes. Taking a shit. What can't be done in 3 minutes. Telling a comedy set. Talking to a parent. Talking to a child. In 3 minutes, the shit that would take you almost 3 hours sometimes trying to figure out which shot do I want to use for this? Which shot do I want to use for that? And for it to do.
And it's flawless.
Of course it is. Of fucking course it is.
But that's when it comes down to, if there was a person and I could afford it, I would.
Yeah.
But I can't afford them.
Yeah, I think it's the, I always go back to this one little thing. I got a business degree in college.
Me too.
Yeah, I got mine in foundations in business and management because I understood being in entertainment. I would need to know the basic level of things.
Same.
And so I get goods and services. I understand, paying for what is done and someone's, the service they give, it reflecting the market value and things like that. I understand all those things. However, we're broke, what I'm saying, for the most part. And it goes back to even the reason why actors and writers are striking. People think because you're in Hollywood, because you're in Los Angeles, because you work in entertainment, you automatically got all this money. And it's like, no.
Not at all.
No. Look, here goes some pulling in the back of the curtain for y'all real quick.
Listen up.
I just got a residual check payment today, well, a couple of days ago, from a TV show that I am on called American Gigolo. American Gigolo was on this network called Showtime. Showtime is a cable network, not the streaming platform, not Paramount Plus. Showtime. I was on not 1, not 2, but 3 episodes of an 8-episode TV show. I just want you to know that. Now, granted, we only got 1 season because the star of the show went back to being the Punisher in the MCU, which I don't fucking blame him. Now, I got a residual check for 3 episodes. Do you want to know how much my residual check was, ladies and gentlemen? Take a guess, Mandy.
Ooh, I don't know.
$25, all right? $25.
Oh, I was going to guess way higher than that.
$25.
Oh my God.
When people say some people don't understand how actors do live off of the residuals. When you are rewatching a show consistently, when you're like, yo, this is a show I just put on in the background. I just keep playing it on streaming. I just keep playing it. Yeah. The actors, writers, director, everyone gets their residual cut off of it, but it's nothing. Now, I know some people are going to say, well, what about the people who do the lighting and the grips and all this? You don't give a shit about them. Don't act like you're going to use that to justify your... I hate when motherfuckers bring up, well, what about the rest of the crew? You don't give a fuck about the rest of the crew. You don't. Mm-hmm. Also, the rest of the crew, the thing is, they unfortunately do not get residuals, but they go from gig to gig to gig very much quicker than an actor or a writer does. A person can be a makeup artist and is on show to show to show to movie like that. An actor is on show. So tell me about, so then to show, you know what I'm saying? It takes a while. It's not a guarantee. So people have to understand the difference. So again, we ain't making no money. Well, why you choose to live in LA? Because it's the place where I had to be for my career to go. If I wanted my career to flourish. I hate that discussion that has been around all this too. It's like, oh, people should just get a regular job. Okay, fine, Cletus. If you feel I should get a regular fucking job. You feel I should get a regular job. Do you have a favorite TV show? Do you have a favorite movie? Huh? Yeah, I guarantee you do. Well, what if that actor that's in your favorite TV show, favorite movie, had a regular job? What if that writer that's in your favorite TV show or movie had a regular job? What if that director, et cetera, then you wouldn't have a favorite TV show or movie. Then technically it is a job. Yeah. We're on, look, yes, we bring words to life. We bring a character to life, but we're on set for 14, 16 hours a day. Look, this takes nothing away from a blue collar worker. Everybody's like, well, what about the person working on an auto shop for 16 hours a day changing brakes? Then you need to change some other shit than brakes. Change your mind. Like, the fuck? But, no disrespect, though, seriously. But it's just people try to shortchange it because it sounds good to say, well, I'm not doing that, so you shouldn't be doing it. I'm not knocking you if you have a blue-collar job. Mm-hmm. If you work this limit to which you work and you make what you make. I work in the same way that I work, but also I do several different fucking careers being out here just trying to make ends meet, and so that discussion, we're broke. I'm broke. Tell you something, around this thing's called paycheck to paycheck, tell me some, who shit the rent is due. Like, people don't get that.
Yeah, it is. I'm just waiting to not live paycheck to paycheck.
You look, for at least a year. And even still, people are like, well, what about COVID? Yeah, COVID was a break because nobody had to do anything. You couldn't go anywhere. Responsibilities didn't happen. Yeah. And the only responsibility you had was to keep yourself alive. That was literally it. During the period of the lockdown, what's responsibility? Stay alive.
Yep.
And some people are like, well, the world doesn't have to stop for me. Clearly, a lot of these motherfuckers' world stopped and ended 6 feet deep. Okay.
Oh, God. That was funny. Shit.
Thank you. It's just me just telling the truth, though.
It is.
It's just people don't take into consideration. They just have this narrow mindscape and they don't look at the broad picture of things.
And so many people just talk out of their ass. Oh, my God. Just to talk.
Look, there are a lot of people who do not. I tell people this when it comes to our career stand-ups. Some people be like, well, I don't think you're funny. I said, that's fine. Mm-hmm. There will never be a comedian in the entire world, in the history of the world, that everybody likes. But people are like, well, they're not funny. I mean, I've seen better. Okay, you probably have. But if you talking, I see when people talk shit about comedians who are selling out theaters. Same. Theaters. You don't have to find them funny. The 1,500 motherfuckers that paid for them do. The 2,800 people do.
Yeah, they're fine.
They're fine.
They have their people.
They got their people.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I don't like Tyler Perry. The odds of him seeing this is slim to none. I don't like Tyler Perry. I got offered a Tyler Perry audition twice, and I told my agent, we're not going to do this. She was like, huh? I was like, yeah, we're not doing this. We just
Good
not.
for you sticking to your beliefs.
Because also, yeah, that, and I talk way too much shit about Tyler Perry openly. Not even just here. You can search my name and Tyler Perry, and it is a lot of shit of me talking about Tyler Perry. Why would I want to put myself, hey, Mr. Perry, I was just joking. But
I love that you're
yeah, but the thing
real.
Right, I'm honest with it. But at the same time, I do know he has his audience.
Mm-hmm.
He has his following. So because I don't like his work, doesn't mean there aren't millions who do.
Mm-hmm.
So people did like to talk out their ass, but I still ain't working for fucking Tyler Perry. Well, what if Tyler Perry gave you $100,000 right now? Do I get to keep my shirt on? Probably not. Then I'm probably taking it off. Now I'm broke. I probably would go for this $100,000. I'd be like, all right, what you got to do? Issue a public apology to Tyler Perry. Let's do this
Done.
now. I would like to say to Tyler Perry, the things that I said were beneath me. You are an outstanding citizen and have done a lot in the black community, badly, but you have done a lot for black people unnecessarily. You make content that people imbibe, unfortunately. You make a lot of TV shows that people watch for some god unknown reason. You do a lot, sir.
All right, so in case you ever need that for the 100,000, let me know and I'll clip it up so we can send.
I want you to burn that part of the footage.
We can...
This never said that shit. You ain't seen none of that.
No, that's just so we have it in case, like you know, when someone dies, they have it all ready to roll.
Oh my God!
How fucked up is that they do that?
People be having like, okay. When it's somebody, here's the thing: when it's somebody that's older, I can kind of understand. If they're older, if they're in their 80s, 90s, you got this little folder on the desktop that they just in case. It's just a bunch of videos of certain people, just packages put together before they die. I get those. But when somebody is young and they pass, and then next thing you know, somebody got a video package out, you're like, what type of Grim Reaper deal did you have that was like, hey, let me talk to you for a second. So they're going to be gone in about 3 days. You might want to make sure you got all this shit together.
Oh my God, that just made me think. Matt told me yesterday, do you watch football? Mm-hmm. Did you hear about the guy who made the tweet about Aaron Rodgers tearing his ACL before he tore it?
No.
So I don't know the details. I don't have my phone, but without the perfect wording, some dude tweeted like the exact stats of when Aaron Rodgers is going to hurt himself, and then he did.
I need to see if this is a real tweet or whatever that went out because I remember at one point, before people knew you could edit Facebook posts, somebody had went back to a post they made years ago on purpose and edited to say a bunch of shit that had happened. So people saw that it was like, oh my God, this dude predicted the future. Then they was like, well, if you click on this little icon right here, you can see the edit history of what it was. Uh-huh. So I want to make sure of that before I be like, oh shit. Because my thing is with Aaron Rodgers, karma and irony are a bitch. Because he hurt himself, tore his ACL, ended his season on September 11th in New York. Why is that so ironic? Because this idiot had said that 9/11 was a hoax.
Oh, it gives me the goosebumps.
Mm-hmm. No. There is actual footage of him. He says it. And then his highlights for the entire season is him carrying the flag going down in the first series.
Oh.
On September 11th.
My God. Mm-hmm. So maybe this is just carrying it out on his karma.
Yo, yeah. Karma was like, you thought I wasn't going to come for you, baby. Don't worry. Mama got you. Okay. Now he sent his dumb ass at home. Karma was like, ooh, baby, you got a game on September 11th, don't you? You think you're going to be playing a whole Monday Night Football. Ooh, boo, I got something for you. He runs out with the flag. America, fuck yeah. And then goes down, play just like, what happened? Aaron Rodgers is done for the season. Womp, womp. You know what I'm saying? Over.
Oh my God, that is wild.
And some people are like, well, how you gonna celebrate a man's injury? Easy, I'm a Chicago Bears fan, motherfucker. I've been dealing with this pain in this bitch for years. I'm sorry. Jesus, I'm trying to be a better person. I'm gonna make sure you saw this while it was on camera, Lord. I'm sorry. I'm
a Miami Dolphins fan, so I feel your pain.
Yes.
It is real.
It is very much real, but I digress.
Yep. And he went to the Jets, so Mm-hmm. Cheers.
Sip on my coffee.
Another season.
Mm-hmm.
I hope you recover well. We talked about some wieners. He's a wiener, but did you think of? Oh, sorry, I didn't explain the weekly wiener. I just talk about the thing I sent you. That's so funny.
That's segue. What?
Just up for his career. Everyone knows the weekly wiener. We weren't talking about dicks.
Okay.
Aaron Rodgers is pretty much a wiener.
Yes, he is.
If someone just clipped this up the wrong way.
Yeah, you don't want to record this shit. I just want to make sure you fucking do what you recorded.
It's so funny. But did you think of a weekly wiener?
Right now, for me, I don't even know if I want to call him a wiener because he does it every year and it's perfect that this has happened. Jimmy Butler from the Miami Heat. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you saw his new hairdo.
No.
So every press day, he's done this new weird hairdo. This year, he came in with like the emo My Chemical Romance look.
Way.
And I was like, I put on Twitter and everything, I was like, Jimmy Butler look like a single black woman that don't need no man for nothing. Like, he looked like he tell his mom, it's not a phase. Like, I said he looked like the first black dude in My Chemical Romance.
I'm not okay.
That's how he looked. I'm just not okay. Like, he had the swoop over his eye. And like he just got flat irons on standby. And so, like, I don't know if you can call him a wiener more so, but that was on my mind. But the real wiener has to be a tie. And this is, I don't like being political, but this shit has been hilarious. Matt Gaetz and Kevin McCarthy. Kevin McCarthy just got voted out of being Speaker of the House. Like, that was,
I saw that.
Like, bro, you let them have a revolt against you in your own party. And then Matt Gaetz, who everybody was like, he been touching little kids. And everybody was like, well, we ain't gonna worry about that. I'm like, this is weird. Mm-hmm. I think, we keep talking about in this country, the two-party system and all this other shit. But I think, like, this government is just gone fucked. And it's been in this process of being fucked for a while. Mm-hmm. But the orange fuck muppet made it completely get fucked. And you heard exactly what I called it. The orange fuck muppet made it completely fucked. And so now everything is just a shambles. And some people are like, well, are you a Joe Biden fan? No! I'm not a fan of no motherfucking politician. To be quite honest, I hate when people be like that. Are you a fan of blah, blah? I wasn't a fan of Barack Obama's. I wasn't a fan of nobody. I'm this motherfucker with political posters on my wall.
A fan is a very particular wording.
For a politician?
Yeah.
Do you understand how much you got to have a level of ego to want to run in politics? Because you want to govern people. Mm-hmm. You want to rule. Yeah, you want to say, I want to make things better, but you want to rule. You have to have a level of ego. Mm-hmm. And your ego has to get bigger and bigger the higher you want to go up in government. To be a councilman, alderman, a mayor, governor, be president.
You really have to believe in yourself.
In so many ways. I believe in me so much, you need to fucking believe in me. But anyway. So yeah, Gaetz and Kevin McCarthy are like weekly wieners. They're just terrible people. Like, I get it inundated seeing it between just random posts. I don't even look for political shit because I don't want that in my head. I had a discussion with a comic. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but he was like, you should be concerned about it. It affects your everyday life. I was like, I know it does. However, if I'm consistently thinking about it, I won't live my life.
Yeah.
If everything I do, I don't work in politics. So my life doesn't have to be 24/7 consumed. When I see people nowadays, I don't give a shit what side you're on. If your entire identity and you don't work in politics is your political affiliation, get some fucking help.
I've talked about that a lot. They make it their personality.
Make it their personality. Mm-hmm. I don't give a fuck who you are. I don't give a fuck if you call yourself liberal, conservative, right-wing, left-wing, Democrat, Republican. If you do not work in politics, you are not on a political show, political science major, blah, 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 and your whole life is that, get some fucking help. Get some fucking help. Yeah. It is ridiculous. And I'm not one of them people to say, well, this is what keeps us all divided. But when you sit there and say my entire being as of who I am as a person is based on these political ideologies, there's something fucking wrong with you.
They need a life. They need something else to fill that hole.
Yes.
It's just that sad.
Sad. Go fill that hole at a strip club or something. I don't know.
Please, we'll all chip in.
I'll chip. I mean, I'm broke, but I got $1.57 that can help you out.
I could give $1.57.
Okay, so now you got $3.14. See what you can do with it.
Wow, that business degree really paid off.
Yes.
That was good.
Yeah, you got $3.14. Let's see what you can do with it. You have the pie amount of money to go.
Oh my God.
I'm a nerd and a geek. Math and science were my big things.
Oh,
so.
that was impressive.
Thank you.
My wiener's not as good. Well, that one made me think of a different wiener, but so I'll give two. Speaking of the money, it's changed and I think it's interesting, but when you check out, people to ask you to donate money, which I hate. Last time I went to Goodwill to drop off clothes, because the stores don't like my cheap ass clothes that pay you money, like Buffalo Exchange. They don't take my shit, so I just bring it to Goodwill. So I'm dropping my clothes off at Goodwill, and they asked if I want to donate money.
No, I'm donating clothes.
What the hell? But
you got. This is what I got. Why would I get?
So that was a wiener. But then the machines, like when they ask, how did it start? I'm trying to remember. They would ask, that was it. So they would ask how much you want to donate when you would leave a grocery store or department store. $1, $3, $5. And I don't like that it's always like for the kids.
Say it with me, ladies and gentlemen, together on 1, 2, 3. Fuck them kids. All right. And this is somebody with kids.
I didn't mean to leave you out. Fuck the kids.
Yeah. Fuck them kids.
Fuck Tyler Perry and the kids.
Now that's going to be some shit clipped out. Fuck Tyler Perry and them kids. Ooh.
Oh, my God.
This is going to get interesting real quick.
There's little stars on the bottom just clarifying everything. Wiener is a person or thing that bugged you too much.
But yeah, I get it because it's like, I understand a lot of these things, these non-for-profits literally only run off donations and things like that. And you try to play on people's heartstrings. Mm-hmm. Hey, you see this child that looks like he's not had a bowl of noodles in 6 hours? Don't you want to help get him a pair of Nikes that don't have the pinky toe out? No. And I'd be like, why not? Because I have my own child that's trying to have a pair of Nikes with no pinky toe out. Mm-hmm. And you can't keep telling me you can do multiple things. And again, let's go back to earlier. I'm broke. And some people are like, well, you shouldn't say that and put it in the air. I'm not saying I'm broke as in I'm flat broke. I'm broke as in I can't do the extracurricular things I would love to do. I'm able to afford the basics. And that is a stretch. Stretch.
Yeah, that's how I feel. And it does make me feel, I shouldn't care, but I've gotten more ruthless as the years have gone on since they've started doing that. But this is what I find funny. Now they do this thing, which I give into. They do the roundup. Do you see the roundup?
Oh, my God. Do you want to round up to... Your show told me 15, 17. You just want to round up to $16? No, motherfucker, give my 83 cents. The fuck?
Yeah, the roundup. How many people had to say no before the roundup was initiated?
Because what happens is it's kind of like... I see it as kind of the automatic gratuity, right? Mm-hmm. There are things automatically on your check. Some people see automatic gratuity and just be like, well, we ain't got to leave a tip. But then there are some people who are still like... Well, let's just add extra. So there's some people when you say, do you just want to round up? Nope. Unless if you're paying with a card, which people typically do, it's not going to matter to you. You're not going to see 83 cents in your hand or in your pocket. Go ahead, round it up. So if one person does that, that's what people say, well, it's just one person. But if 100,000 people just go, all right, just round up. You've made about $830,000 or no, $83,000. So you've made that, so now you're not, it doesn't look like much, but it's that small little thing that adds up. And that's how a lot of things are. We don't pay attention to it. It's those small little things that add up. It's like I stated earlier about photography services. How if a photographer who normally charges $300-$400 all of a sudden said, I'm doing $150.
Oh, I'd be right there.
Every time they say they're doing these sales, they get a ton of business. Then they were like, well, I'm going to go back to my regular prices. But once you lowered it, people do more. So now the average person doesn't see it, but you've actually made double what you would have made, if not sometimes triple, in your regular fee.
Yeah.
So that's all it is.
Damn money. I'm listening to to this audiobook. Called my mom told me to listen to it. It's a old famous book called Wallace Wattles, philosopher or something like that. And it's The Science of Getting Rich. So your girl's about to be donating to everybody soon.
Just like, put this karma back. Like, don't get me, this is the one thing I personally can't stand. It's not the roundup. It's not the do you want to donate. It is now the people who I've known for years who assume I have money. So, hey, I got this Kickstarter. Don't you want to donate to it? No. Why not? I can't. I have at least right now in my inbox in Facebook, at least 7 Kickstarters from people who I have not talked to in years.
That's way worse, too.
I haven't talked to. They might occasionally like something. We haven't held a conversation in years. But now they're like, can you donate and share my Kickstarter? And I'm like, no. And they'll be like, why not? Because the thing is, if I do yours, then everybody that comes to me is going to keep asking. And I'm going to feel, they're going to think I'm obligated to do so. Well, you've known me for such and such. It doesn't matter. I don't think people understand that, like, yes, you can want to. You can do things out the goodness of your heart. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But when people start expecting you to do things, and it's like, oh yeah, you got to do this because you don't want to seem like this. Okay, if you think I don't want to seem like something, I'm gonna show you what I can seem like. I'm gonna seem like an asshole because I'm gonna leave you on red in my motherfucking inbox. It's so many people right now on red, like. And also, hear me out. Hear me out. Okay, let me make sure I clarify this. I have a level of OCD that I do not like notifications.
I'm the same. That red dot drives me
crazy.
Wild.
So I will click on something just to get rid of the notification dot.
Yes.
It does not. People are like, well, you said you read it. No. I didn't read it. I clicked on it just to get rid of the dot. Now, there's some things I've read and just be like, I'm not responding. We'll talk about something after we done recording because I'm
okay.
My hurt feelings I don't want to say on camera.
Oh, yeah. I'm so happy I'm not the only one with the red dot.
No, I know a lot, but I know a lot of people like that. And there are people who forget. There are people, this is a real common thing, to be quite honest with you. That notification, because it makes you feel like you're falling behind.
Yes.
If I've got, I've seen people put up, they got like 700 to 1,000, if not more emails they haven't checked. I can't. I'll clear my shit quickly. Facebook notifications, I'll clear it. Instagram notifications, any other social media, anything, I'll clear it because I don't want all that, because it's like, all right, now I got to try to play catch up. Now, if I see something in the midst of clearing things out, let's say I see something in my DMs on Instagram where people typically are conducting business now, I'll try my best to program to remember, get back to this. Cool. Or if I see it and I think it's something I need to get back to, I'll mark it as unread on purpose.
Smart.
So I know to go back to it. But a lot of times, there are a lot of people who literally are just like, yo, I don't want all these notifications. So we just click on shit. And so people get mad thinking you just left them on red. And it's like, not really. If you felt like you got left on red and you're like, well, maybe they didn't see it, follow up.
Yeah, follow up.
Hey, I was wondering if you saw this. Because you'd be surprised somebody would be like, no, I didn't. Oh, okay.
Yeah, don't assume.
Do not assume.
But sometimes you're right.
Sometimes we did get left on red. Shit.
Yeah, I'm really bad. Like, I'm trying to get better. But sometimes I leave people on red because there's no nice way to respond.
Yeah, I've learned that.
And I've done the math. I thought out every way to say no.
I don't know if you've ever seen this movie called Avengers: Infinity War.
I've heard of it.
Okay, see, that's how I knew she hadn't seen it. See, I did that, y'all. It was like, what would you assume? I was right. In the movie, Doctor Strange looks for possibilities to have a great outcome. He says he saw 14,600,501. That is the amount of outcomes I looked at and how to respond to somebody, and none of them were good. So I was just like, we're not gonna do this.
Just a slow back step.
Yeah, just like, let's not respond. Oh my God, I had like, I've been fortunate now that the Improv has let me do a show. And they let me do one last month and it went well. And I was like, cool, it's just gonna be a little one-off. Hey, do you want to do another one?
Congrats.
I guess. And that's thank you, first of all. And I was like, all right, cool, I guess. The amount of people in my text messages and my phone, like, you don't text me, you don't call me, you don't do anything else. All of a sudden, you now are hitting me up. And I understand that's kind of how this game works, but it's frustrating because it's like, I don't know how to respond until you just know. Because also, I was already under pressure trying to put this together real quick, and I kind of don't want to. That's why I don't produce shows.
Same.
Look, the one I'm doing the ones that I've done that have been Jay Washington and friends. I'm like, all right, who are some of the closest people to me real quick that when I did the first one, I text my cousin, Taquita Love. I text Taquita. I text Martin, who's like one of my best friends. I text Taquita, Martin, my buddy Malcolm Barrett, who Malcolm been trying to get back into. Those are the first three. I was like, let's get this out the way.
Yeah.
Then I was like, let me fill in the rest. And I had just did a show with Brittany Ferlin. I hit up Brittany, boom. And I was like, who else? And I hit up Laura Peak. And me and Laura have been doing so many freaking shows together.
Laura's so funny.
It's the first 5 people that just was like, let's get this out the way.
Mm-hmm.
And so once I did it, if you do another one, I love to do it. Hold on. I try not to. That's one thing. And I know some people are like, well, don't you do that to people? I try not to.
I try not to.
I try to be. I understand, first of all, if you just put one show together, it's not a guarantee you're going to get another one. Mm-hmm. It's not a guarantee. Also, if I'm hitting you up, I can automatically assume hundreds of other people are consistently hitting you up about the same thing. And it gets overwhelming. And that's how I treat a lot of shows I try to get on. If it's gonna bug if it will bug me, I know it's gonna bug you.
I used to I used to produce a show, and my DMs would be crazy. I would make like a separate Instagram for the show, so I'd be like, please, but people would always message a personal one.
Yeah.
And then now, like, I just try to hope I just naturally get shows. But
I want, I understand that I'm the same way. And I always feel like if you're funny enough and you stand out, because funny is relative, but also there's a lot of funny people out here.
So many.
So you have to stand out. So I'm like, okay, maybe that'll help. But also, hey, I do know, look, let me send a message. If you don't get back to me, I might have forgotten too. So it's not a big thing.
You can't let it get to you personally.
No, and I used to. And I'll admit, the amount of motherfuckers I had grudges with because I felt like they were personally spiting me. Oh, you just don't want to put me on this. And then I was like, you know what? There's so many people out here that are hitting them up. And once I had that rational thought, I was like, it's cool. So when people hit me up, I do understand why. I do understand. But then I've had people who try to guilt me into putting them on the show.
Oh, that's not cool.
Like, I just had somebody, I had to literally delete their comment off my Facebook. They tried to guilt me on putting them on the show. And I'm like, I don't know if you think that's actually going to work. First of all, I don't know if you realize who the fuck you talking to. Sorry for the aggression. Like, sorry. It just, because it's like.
No, that's so fucked up.
Because it's like, you got to realize who you trying to do that to. Because for some people, it might work. For me, it's going to make me resent you.
That would never make me like someone or want to book somebody.
And I don't want to book a show. I told somebody, I said, I'm telling y'all right now, I'm doing the second one, and if God willing, I get a third one, I'm getting a producer and a booker to do it.
Smart.
Because I'm not dealing with it.
You shouldn't have
I'm not. I want to just be able to deal with my schedule booking myself and, being able to write and perform and do those things. I don't worry about motherfuckers. He's so angry. He's so man aggressive. Kiss my dick.
But also then people are like, oh, Jay didn't book me on his show. And then the people have these made up things in their head about you for no goddamn reason. And you don't need that.
Number one, I like I said, I don't want to book a show. But if I do have to realize, what is going to be the tightest, best show I can potentially push? And I do also understand this one big thing a lot of people don't understand out here. What is going to bring people out?
That's very important.
What is going to bring people out? I refuse to do a bringer show where I'm getting a bunch of brand new comics who are asshole terrible.
Please don't ever do that.
But because I know they'll bring out 20 people, I'm putting them on a show. I'm not going to do that. I don't want to I I always tell people, I love this game so much. I love this industry so much. I hate bringer show producers. I hate people who charge for open mics. Buying something from a venue is one thing. Paying a host, kiss my ass. Bringer shows, it devalues it because you're putting a bunch of people who should not be on sometimes you're doing a prominent stage or whatever, maybe not. Or you're just doing a show, putting a bunch of people together who are not ready to be in an actual showcase type setting to sit there and say, hey, come see all these people. And then they bring out all these friends and the show is terrible.
They're the worst shows that could possibly.
The show is terrible. And then this is somebody who's in the crowd, first time and first experience to live stand-up comedy. So now you've introduced them to a terrible show. What's going to happen? They're either A, never going to go to another live show again, or B, only going to go see a live show when it's someone they know, trust, and really fucking want to see, like a celebrity. So people don't think about those things. I think that is the selfish nature for a lot of comedians.
It's very true. And I feel like since after the quarantine, bringer shows luckily died down. At least, I don't know if I'm not around them anymore, thank God.
I'm not around them, I just see them.
I know the Comedy Chateau, I haven't been there since they opened, but I know that's like a big bringer venue.
Yeah, I mean, he just copied the mold off of Flappers. Mm-hmm. Just copied the mold off of another comedy club.
Yeah, Flappers and Comedy Chateau. But I think since the quarantine, the Comedy Store stopped doing the Belly Room bringer shows.
Not as much. There's a couple of shows. The main ones that were doing all bringers have kind of stopped, but there's still a couple that are bringer shows. And again, I know people are like, well, why would you hate on somebody who wants to bring a bunch of people out? Because also, I think again, delusion. Hear me out. If I'm brand new at comedy, I think I'm funny. But I just need 7 to 10 people to see me on stage. What if I'm not funny that night? What if I'm not solid? Now, granted, yes, every comedian has had an off night. Absolutely. But I'm just starting out. Mm-hmm. What if I'm not funny?
You need time to grow.
Now I bring these 10 people out. They're not going to want to see me again.
Yeah, it's kind of really fucked up that right when you're new is when you need the most people out.
Yeah.
That's evil.
That is evil because you're setting yourself up for failure. It's called being seen too early. We talk about it so much being in Los Angeles or when you're in New York, being seen by the industry too early. But what about being seen by your friends and family, people you're going to want to support you too early? That is a thing too. People forget about that. Yeah. Look, and there's also some people who need to tell their friends they're fucking terrible. There are some people who need to quit.
Be a good friend, God damn it. It is.
People like, oh, that sounds wrong. That's E. He just sounds miserable. Misery Loves Mandy. That sounds terrible.
That's a theme.
But it's just true. If you're a good friend of somebody, you got to tell them when they're not good. I tell everybody. That's why I credit and I'm grateful to God for starting in Chicago when I started, because I came up under the era of a lot of old Def Jam, Comic View guys, people who did HBO and all these different things. And because Chicago has such a reputation for developing such strong and powerful comedians, they'll tell you, that shit ain't funny. You ain't funny. Because people are like, well, what about, and of course we're in this mental health age days, what I get as someone who suffers from it and who is in therapy, but it's also not to just devalue. It's to make you think either A, this is for me. If it is for me, I got to get better. Or B, it's not for me. And so what we did was, if we were like told, yo, you're trash. Oh, I'm going to show you I'm not trash.
Exactly.
And you got better.
And that separates the people who, oh, I'm trash, I'm quitting, or oh, I'm not trash. Let me prove them. And then when the thing is, when you stop trying to prove somebody wrong, you proving yourself you can do these things. Look, I was told a lot through my career starting out. I was horrible. I know it. And I'm be honest, I'm grateful for it, because if I was not told that, it would not have pushed me to do the things that I have done, have been able to do, and I am going to do. Mm-hmm. Now, is it a different generation? Absolutely. Is it a different set of mind? Absolutely. But the same sentiment remains. The heart of it.
If I'm your friend, which I am, and I see you go up and tell something and it bombs, I'm not going to tell you great job. I'm not.
I don't want you to either.
But I see too many people that we've done shows with together do that to people. You're not helping that person. Mm-hmm. Oh, man, that was great. I don't know what's wrong with the crowd. Well, nobody fucking laughing.
I was going to say that too. It's the funniest thing when people go, rough room. You're pretty much saying, you sucked.
I've watched somebody go, I've seen, and I'm guaranteeing you've seen this. Oh. How many times we've seen somebody do a set and they bomb. They come off. they blame the room, right?
Oh.
The following comic goes up and destroys.
Yes.
Or the following 2 or 3 destroys. So you're like, what was the rough room? Rough room for you?
They didn't like you.
They didn't like you. And again, we all have had those moments.
It's part of it.
It's part of it. We're not exempt from it. But a lot of people try to act as if the negative parts, in which it is, bombing is a negative part of stand-up. It's something that doesn't happen. It's going to happen. But I think people need to be more honest and realistic with themselves in this game.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to always be that voice of reason you want to have that you don't want to hear, but it's like, yo, he got a point. Because, again, have I bombed recently? Yes. Did I know it was going to happen? Probably so. Or probably didn't. It's probably been a show where I was confident and shit and went up and was like, whew, okay, I got like 7 more minutes in this bitch. Okay, let's see what's going. Stay with me, Jesus. Like, I'm sitting there praying to get through this set because I know it's bad. And I don't want you coming to me afterwards like, yo, good set. No, it wasn't.
Yeah, I know it wasn't.
I know it wasn't. So,
and I'll be okay knowing that.
That car ride home gonna be awkward.
Sometimes, like, I think to me, my least favorite thing about bombing is just not getting the high.
Oh my God. The yeah, you know what? I'm good.
Yeah.
It's that getting off stage like, well, oh, shit, my mama was right. I should have went into business. Post office is hiring right now. It's the holidays. I can go and get a union job at UPS. Get my shit together.
Yeah, it's very different feelings.
Very different feelings. But it's something you have to have because if you know that feeling of what it's like to not feel good, you don't want that feeling unless you're a masochist. Unless you just want to abuse yourself. And if you're a masochist, I'm not going to shame your kink, but get that motherfucking roll off somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? Don't get your kink off where other people are affected. Mm-hmm. Don't do that.
Oh, man. Very true. Now I'm just like...
I think it's just a real discussion and a real topic that a lot of comedians don't want to have because we're in this day and age of everybody's posting all their content, crowd work clips, regular clips. Everybody's trying to elevate and we've always been trying to elevate and do things. But now if you feel like somebody tells you anything negative, it's people trying to shame you or bring you down or this, that, and the third. Now, don't get me wrong. There are people who are legit haters to you or who are just trying to do ill to you. There are always going to be that, unfortunately. But there also is time where you just need to be fucking real. Like, because I remember this thing I heard when I first started was everybody, when you do stand-up, you probably can find out 1 or 2 things quickly. You're either a good writer or performer. Sometimes you're not both. And sometimes you are. Mm. Some people don't want to accept that. There's some people who just want to accept, I'm going to be everything. And that's fine. You can say you want to be everything, but it doesn't mean it's going to happen. And it's nothing wrong with that.
No.
There are people who have prominent careers as writers. There are people who are prominent performers who have writers. So it's understanding the level. Look, it's not as simple as us. I wrote this down. I go to a place with a microphone. I'm talking to it. People laugh. Boom.
Oh, I wish.
I fucking wish. I mean, I might talk about the bringer mode of the Comedy Chateau, but I'll say this. I use it as my open mic. Mm-hmm. Here's why. Because I can go, I don't have to bring no people, right? I can go up and I can work on some stuff. It's a bunch of people there that's expecting to see a comedy show. I know me as I would say pretty seasoned performer. If I'm working on something, if I get giggles, it's got legs. If it kills, it works. If it doesn't, okay, let's take it back to the drawing board.
Exactly.
Let's figure out something. Then when I start getting the little movements with it, then I can start to weave it into a set and see how that works.
That's exactly what I do. Oh, just like, come on.
Yeah.
Get in there. And then the ones that just work right away, you're like, thank you.
Oh, thank God.
Thank you.
I think one of my most recent ones that worked right away, you were there.
The Don't Tell?
Yep. It was the Don't, when I did the joke about Boba, when Kiki was talking about it. Mm-hmm. And then I told about my story behind it. And I was like, yo, I just happened to talk because it was from a real life experience.
It's always when it works the best.
Yeah, and it wasn't like, I wasn't a joke that I had written out. It wasn't anything that I'd already said I'm going to talk about eventually. It was just, she brought it up and I was like, yo, let me just talk about mine real fast. And then it hit, and I was like, okay, hold on. Okay, hold on.
Like, so, why didn't I say this before?
Yeah, and then I did another show, and then I refined. Well, luckily after that, then I started to refine it to make it a full actual bit. But the same, basically what I said was there. I was like, oh, okay, all right, thank you.
Yeah, that's like, I think the biggest difference of like my old writing versus my new is not that I ever tried. It was always ideas that came to me. I was never trying to force anything. But now I'm like, I just want to pull more from like real life stuff.
I kind of am the same. I remember when I first started, I'm very observational. I can talk about whatever's around me, what I see, things that I think are weird, and I can make it, funny, anecdotal, whatever the word is. But I can do that. And I'll never forget one of my good great friends, Xavier Lamont. He's a comedian in Chicago. XL told me, he said, "You're funny. There's no doubt about that. People know that." He said, "But they don't leave knowing anything about you." I said, "I don't give a fuck. I don't want nobody." Those are my exact words. I don't give a fuck. I don't want nobody knowing nothing about me. He was like, "Trust me. Once they feel connected to you even more, it's going to change everything you do." I said, "I don't give a shit about that." He said, "You're stubborn." He was like, "But try something." And I'll never forget, I tried a joke about my experience doing CrossFit for the one and only time. And that joke destroyed. And he happened to be there. And he just looked at me and was like, I was like, "Man, fuck you." And then it was like other events that had happened that were happening subsequently after that. There was just natural events. And then I started thinking about things that I'd been through in my life. And I was like, oh, I guess we're right. All right. And you know what? Here's the funny thing. I'm 14 years in this game, and I'm still having those moments. I still had a moment recently where I just started the joke. You and I talked about doing the jokes about our names.
Yeah.
I just recently had that when I was like, I want to fucking do this. And then it started, I was like, man.
Yeah, you just got to pull from all the truths, everything that we just live, and then it writes itself.
Yes.
And that's kind of like a sign of knowing it's in the path of the jokes that we are going for now, is the easier they are to write.
Absolutely. I think, you want to write easy, but also you want to write something that just goes clever. And I think that's been for me personally. Like, I can write, but I always want to have wordplay. I just always feel like I should have a level of wordplay. I treat it almost like rap, and I'm not a rapper, where I want to have like metaphors to something, or almost have a way where I go with something. You're like, yo, I didn't expect him to bring it that way, or do this, or talk about that, or say these things. Like, I say one thing in a joke where I talk about my name, and I said my full name sounds like I have a credit restoration business that's not doing good at all. Like, and people are like, what? What? And some, and it's just like those little things that I can think of sporadically that just sound wild and out the box. And it's like, all right, how can I fold this into something? So,
oh man, it's definitely like, I feel like a couple months ago I was in the part where I just wanted to get rid of all my jokes.
Yes.
I can go through the waves. If I love them, I'll start over. I love them.
Well, because I think because we do it so much, the amount of times I've had because out here in LA, you don't do a lot of time. The amount of 10, 15 minute sets I've had where I was like, all right, this is killing. All right, this is killing. All right, this is killing me. Shit. Because then you get tired of it. And now I think that's when the excitement of bringing something new comes in. And it's like, all right, cool. Excuse me. And then for a while, it gets to be, well, what was I doing like when I first started? I have a voice now. What was I doing that was kind of personal, but it wasn't fully, that now I can rehash with my voice. And now start doing those. I'm like, okay, I find this excitement again. And I think it's just it's living life. You find, that's one thing I will say this. Living life. I do not live life to just find a joke anymore. I've never done that. I see people doing it.
You can't. It's like people who want a relationship so bad.
Just for them. Okay, here we go. I am single. Have been single. But I say that because my closest friends who know me and people who know that I want to be in a relationship. I don't need to be. I want to be.
That's the perfect place to be.
Yes. But I want to be in a relationship to be in a relationship. I don't want to be in a relationship to say, well, I can talk about all this shit in a relationship. I feel like that's doing a disservice to the person you're with. Yes, you're gonna have things you potentially talk about when you're in a relationship with a person. It's never fucking fails. However, if you're getting into a relationship solely for the purpose of be like, ooh, now I got 5 minutes worth of new jokes.
Matt and I have been together almost 3 years, and I don't have one joke about him.
But you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you realize your material, your relationship is not based on that. The fact that you like this relationship is going to yield all these jokes. There are so many comics that immediately they get in a relationship. I'm in a new relationship. I'm in a new relationship.
You hear that so much. Oh my God.
I started talking about dating, and that was only after I was pressured. When I say pressured by Jen Sturger, she was like, you need to talk about, I don't fucking want to talk about this. I told her that. She's like, no, but because everybody else was talking about it. And I was like, I don't want to talk. And then I had one incident that happened that I was like, oh, motherfuckers is going to hear about this. Because I met a chick off Hinge who did cocaine on our first date.
Oh my God.
Did several bumps of cocaine.
In front of you?
In front of me.
That's wild.
At noon.
What?
On a Tuesday.
Oh, it keeps getting crazier.
So that was the only one I was like, I'll talk about that. But
because it was brought to you.
It was brought.
You're not searching
I'm
for
not
that.
searching for. I wouldn't be like, hey, so this is gonna be great. Keep doing the cocaine. All right.
Anything other weird things you do?
But I just again, I understand what there are a lot of people. I'm on dating apps and I do dating all this. Some people are looking for the fails in things to be able, not even the positives, the fails in them to be able to bring them to the stage. It's like live life. Just let life happen. Mm-hmm. And I myself am guilty of that at times because I'm so busy trying to work. You know, as anybody else in the city who knows me, and even other cities, I am what you like to call a workaholic. This is, like I said, the first of 3-4 things I have to do today alone because it's what I do. So it's a lot of times I'm work. I forget to live life. So now I have to force myself to live life just to live it. Not even for jokes. Just to be able to separate from all the other shit.
Just to breathe.
To decompress. And so when I do that, I'm like, now, okay. But I'm not living life with a notepad in my hand.
No.
Trying to figure out everything that's going to happen. It's just things start to happen.
They'll happen on their own.
They happen on their own. But there's so many people that's like, oh, man, I just got the relationship. Oh, let the jokes come in. Jesus Christ.
That would be exhausting. And it's just fake. It just feels like unauthentic, I guess is the word it feels like.
It does. Also, it's like, so you're dating a comic, everyone who knows. Very funny dude. He's an all right person. He's an all right person.
But real funny.
Real funny. He's an all right person. But a lot of people I couldn't date a comic. And I was like, you know what? I don't care. And I dated a comic for a couple of months. And I remember one of my friends was like, well, what happens if she starts talking about you on stage? I said, that's fine. But if she tries to be this, I'm going to try to make him look bad. Let her know I am the worst person you want to do that with because I'm going to go hard. I'm going to not only say things, I'm going to embellish I'm going to Hassan Minaj the fuck out of our relationship. Next thing I know, you gave me anthrax, bitch. I just go. But I didn't, we weren't together. We weren't dating to have, I wasn't dating her to have material. Say, I dated a comic. Because you see that shit too. Mm-hmm. I was just dating because I was like, yo, you're dope. I think you're dope. I think you're cute and all this. I just like to get to know you better, blah, blah, blah. Now, did it work? Did it last? Absolutely not. Why? Because the person told me they couldn't accept love, and that hurt my heart.
Oh, wow.
It's the Virgo nature in me and just who I am. Like I said, I'm a very loving person. So we got together, and we were together a lot, and we got close quick. And so I just, I'm giving my heart to you, and I'm giving my time. And it just all of a sudden it was just I can't accept love and blah, 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 and it just kicked me down a flight of stairs. I was around this motherfucker singing sad. I was around. It was like, yo, somebody put him down. He looked like a hurt puppy.
That's a sad thing to hear.
It was a very sad thing. And so I was very sad for a while. And it even now to the point I see this person and I still get a little bit of a butterfly and I'm like, stop it.
No.
I have to tell myself, yo, chill out. It's just something about that person that just makes me a little weak in the knees. Yeah. Now, I'm going to tell y'all something right now. Everybody watching this shit, Tell this fucking comic and person that's watching me. If you see me in these streets and you bring them, oh, is the little puppy okay? Make sure you realize I'm built like I just got out of prison. 2, I'm a professional wrestler. 3, I will be very, very angry like a Black Incredible Hulk. So if you bring up here's a little puppy looking, I might rip out your larynx. Now, I'm not saying that's a threat. I just want you to know. Okay?
Oh my God.
So, yeah.
We can talk about the wrestling. There's like so much we could talk forever. We dabbled on a lot of jokes, but is there any, like my whole podcast, in which is the thing is like you're never searching for it, but like when a miserable moment or thing happens, after you take time, then you could be like, I can make a joke about this.
I've only told this story as a joke probably twice. Because I stopped talking, like, again, I am a pro wrestler, and I stopped talking about wrestling, but the most... So...
Oh, no.
Okay, this is preface. Hear me out, okay?
Okay.
The day started was a Saturday. I woke up, my stomach was bubbling.
Uh-oh.
I had bad stomach issues. It's like, all right, cool. I was like, all right, deal with it in the morning. Took some Tums, drank some, I grabbed some Pedialyte. I was good. Cool, I had the show. So I remember wrestling. It was a tag team match. It was me and my tag team partner, who's like one of my big brothers. And we were in this match. And in the middle of the match, my stomach started bubbling.
Oh, no.
Now, I wear in the wrestling ring, I wear my knee pads, my boots. I wear a singlet. I have compression shorts under my singlet, elbow pads, all that. At one point, I get tagged in a match. Something happens. I get slammed or suplexed or something. I feel my stomach bubble again. I was like, okay. I get slammed one more time or hit. And I thought I shit it. I sharted. So I told my partner, I just ran over to the corner and tagged out. He was like, what are you doing? I was like, I think I shit myself.
You told him.
He's like, what? I was like, just go in. I run to the back. The guys are like the producers and the bookers of the show watching on the monitor. They're like, what the fuck are you doing? I was like, give me a minute. I run to my bag. I grab another singlet out of my bag. I go to the bathroom. I pull this shit off, dump shit out in the toilet. I take my compression shorts in the sink, scrub them by hand, and they're wet. Put them back on, put the other singlet back on, and run back out. Now I'm back out in a different singlet. He looked like, my partner was like, what the fuck? He was like, I was like, it's a long story. We finished the match like 3 minutes afterwards.
Oh.
We get to the back after the match. Everybody's looking like, no. The lady was like, I was like, hey man, it happens. And I rarely tell that story about shitting myself because it was like, it was embarrassing. Because I felt it. I was like, oh, thank God I have all this on to keep anything from coming out.
Oh, I should live in a singlet. That's actually a good idea.
Tell you something, singlet and compression shorts and shades saved my motherfucking life.
Yeah, you can't even be mad about how it went down because it could have been worse.
It could have been worse. Could have been way fucking worse. But instead, it was just like, oh shit. Luckily, I had an extra singlet with me.
Thank God.
Like it was just one of those days I happened to have like double singlets and 2 or 3 singlets in my bag, in my gear bag, and it was just like, oh, because when it hit me the first time, I was like, oh, I think I'm gonna be okay. And then whatever, I think it was either I got splashed, suplex, something. The second time, I was like, oh
no. And
I just was like, oh shit. I was like, let me go tag out real quick. Cause like I keep baby wipes in my bag always. You know, I always keep baby wipes in my gear bag and everything. So I'm just grabbing shit and just, like I said, I've never power changed so quick in like less than 2 minutes.
I mean, tight stuff is really hard to move quick.
Well, the singlet, I just was like, pop, pop, pow. Dropped that. Took the compression shorts, pow, just rinsed them out. And I just changed singlets because I didn't want to take a chance. I just changed singlets because it was like, everybody was probably thinking it was just the compression shorts. I was like, no, we're not taking no chance. I just scrubbed them bitches and they were still wet. I wrung them out real fast and I just put them back on and put the singlet on and then ran back out. Like I still had my wrist taped up, elbow pads on. I'm still sweaty and oiled up. I got on, like I'm pulling shit down over knee pads and wrestling boots.
Oh, man.
Running back out to the ring, hitching up my singlet like I normally have it because I have it halfway up my thigh like I always pull it up. I'm sitting there doing all this. All right, let's go.
Oh, champion.
I don't know if you want to call that a champion.
I think I am.
It's triumphant, I guess. I mean, that would be champion.
Yeah, shit jokes. I just had Jessica Michelle Singleton on.
Yeah, good.
She's amazing.
I love her.
And she talked about a shit joke too, that like, or a shit scenario, and we're saying like how hard. Those shit jokes are hard to navigate on stage.
They're hard to navigate on stage because some people, it's weird. It's weird what people say they want to hear and don't want to hear. Mm-hmm. That joke, yeah, hey, I shitted myself. It's always like, also, I don't know, people like, so you know how you shit yourself. Calm down, okay? Hey, I had to shit myself in the wrestling ring too. Did you? Like, I don't want nobody connecting with me like, I shit myself too.
Yeah.
Like, I think there's certain things on certain levels I don't want to connect with people with, but that shit literally. That thing is like, I don't know if that's one of them.
It is pretty impressive and funny though.
It was terrifying is what it was.
Oh, I just want to see your, what do you call him, your tag partner?
Yeah.
His face before you left the ring when you said
He was like, so Willie, his name's Willie the Bomb Richardson. Willie's a bigger dude. Willie was like, fuck is you doing? I was like, oh shit. I was like, I think I shit myself. He was like, what? I was like, I'll be back. He's like, where the fuck are you going? And I took off. I was like, phew! And I ran, like I said, I literally just ran past everybody and just grabbed my shit out the bag because my bag was like not that far in the locker room area from where the fucking curtain and everything was. I was just like, oh, and just.
Oh, man.
And so just ran back out there and then. So for those who end up watching this, who was at that show that day and trying to figure out what happened, you've now heard it. You've now fucking heard it.
Your assumptions were correct.
I think he shit himself. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
Oh, man. Well, is there anything you want to plug before we go?
Yeah, I would say just find me on Instagram and TikTok, Mr. J Washington, MRJAY. You should know how to spell Washington. Check out, because a lot of people do not know how to spell Washington. You'd be very fucking surprised.
Wow.
Check out the BBC Club podcast. That's the Black Boy Content Club podcast. See, I know you're like, what? Every time we tell somebody, they're like, yo, BBC Club. I was like, if we get to Pornhub, probably. We are on every podcast platform. Me, Moses Prim from Prims of Cinema, and Chris Burns. We got a fun thing. And then you can catch me October 27th, Friday, October 27th, 9:45, back at the Hollywood Improv. That's the one big thing I got people coming out to. But I got shows almost every other goddamn day, a whole bunch of times throughout the week. I will be in and around the Los Angeles area. San Diego, I'm coming back towards you. Arizona, you got me coming up in soon. Working on a lot of things, man. So, yeah, thank you, Mandy, for having me.
Yay, thanks for doing it. All the links will be below. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. Bye.